Alright. Oh. Sorry, let me turn off Home Shopping Network or whatever the fuck Jared was watching.
Whatever, that was all you.
Okay. There we go. Alright, so... Well, this is a fun one to see at 11:20 in the morning.
I was fine. I've been up since 7.
Oh, okay. I've been up since 10:20?
And your usual time is what,
10:30?
1,
Something
2?
like that. Noon, 1, 2, something. I fluctuate and waking up on all the sad times. So, Sinister. I liked it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was really creepy. But it's also, it's the kind of horror thriller that I tend to like a lot, honestly. Ones that deal in forms of media, in this case, Super 8 film, or like videotape or sound or some forms of media, whether it's a movie like
Poltergeist,
8mm or like Blow Up movies.
What was that one with
movies like that? Oh, White Noise.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually never saw.
I didn't see it either,
White
but
Noise.
I know that's one of them.
But I didn't see White Noise 2 either.
Poltergeist had a TV.
Yeah, Poltergeist. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I just love every movie that has a TV.
Poltergeist was awesome! Crap on you!
No, I didn't. Did I say Poltergeist sucked? I like Poltergeist.
You made fun of me for mentioning it.
Now, if it's Poltergeist 3...
Oh, God.
The best one. Let's take Poltergeist and combine it with Die Hard.
I want to make a spoof with or not with, she died, but of Zelda, what's-her-face, that was the little lady, but she's a cleaning lady, and it's like a reality show, and it'd be like, this house is clean. Had Coach in it.
Yeah, it did.
It
did have Coach in it. So did Turner and Hooch.
You know what? And SpongeBob SquarePants has
David Hasselhoff?
Dauber. No, Dauber.
Oh, Bill Faber.
Yeah.
He's
also in How I Met Your Mother. We are going way off topic.
So, but anyway, this is a creepy movie. I liked it. Ethan Hawke plays a true crime novelist who is kind of past his prime, and like 10 years ago he wrote a successful bestseller. And since then, not really, like, he's written a couple of stuff, but nothing really happened with him, and so now he's trying to write another one and hopes that, he'll kind of get that fame back that he had 10 years prior.
Well, and they lost their house, so they had to move into a cheaper house, and so it's supposed to be his big break to where he can take care of his family.
So, you could have fooled me with the mansion they moved into at the end.
Well, no, but did you... That was their old house.
Yeah, I know.
So that was the one they couldn't afford, and so they moved into... And he picks the house that the murders he's writing about took place in, and expects his wife not to find out about it. Because, in small towns, they never be like, you moved into the old blah blah house.
I would have kept that from her, too. She was a harpy. Through the whole
Queen of the Harpies!
She was a freaking harpy. Like, fucking leave him alone, man. You're living in a murder house. That's awesome. What are you bitching about?
I would have murdered him, man. I'd be like,
you
fuck
wouldn't
you.
have. You would have loved that shit.
No!
Yeah, you would have.
No.
If we lived in a murder house.
Be like, no. And then he even says, there were funny parts that, they did good at relieving with a little bit of, like, hot parts without getting shticky or it being out of place.
Yeah.
Like, during an argument, he brings up the fact, he's like, no, you asked me if we moved 2 houses down from it or whatever. She's like, murders happened in here! He's like, no, they didn't. They didn't happen here. They were outside of the tree. And
take what you get, man. She was a bitch.
The deputy was adorably hilarious.
Deputy so-and-so.
Yeah, Deputy so-and-so.
Well, let's finish the plot
I'm
first.
sorry. Oh, whatever, we jumped way ahead before. I was talking, it segued. I was talking about comedy parts.
Micro Machine Man.
People didn't have a problem understanding me last time you said that, so...
Well,
just because you have ADD.
I do, severely. Sorry, what were you saying?
Don't tell Paul Revere.
What?
It's a Clone High reference.
Oh, that show I've never seen before. Okay.
You know what? I talk Clone High with the fans all the freaking time on Twitter and Facebook just because you're not cool enough to have watched it, even though I own it. We are so digressing. Let's get back to the movie.
You weren't cool enough to watch. You weren't cool enough to watch. What do I got over here? Streets of Gold with me.
You never asked.
That's true. That would require me taking it out of the packaging.
Indeed.
So he's wanting to write this true crime book about this family at the house. They were all hung in the backyard, and then the kid was found missing. And then he finds
he was found missing.
Or he was missing. He's missing. He was missing.
I'm gonna be a smartass. You were a smartass.
Oh, you're just now starting to be a smartass.
I quit.
And abusive.
You're abusive. I have to watch the last fucking Twilight movie in November.
I gotta see it too. So she's missing, and so he's writing this book about it, and then he finds this box of film in the attic, and they're all the previous death scenes of families getting killed. Not
snuff
just,
films.
Yeah, he finds a box of snuff films of families getting killed, and also in these particular cases, a child in that family was found missing. Hey. And then as it goes along, the house appears to be sort of haunted. Like there's ghosts that are turning on the machine and waking them up in the night.
But you don't see them.
It's a really good, honestly, it's a really good character piece because he's driven to the kitties.
But I want to say something.
Sorry, I had to break up the cats.
I want to say something about, I like how the movie reels were titled. They had very banal titled. It was like,
barbecue.
Family hanging around barbecue. I was so mad because one was yard work.
Yeah.
And I was waiting, it's the last film he watches, and I was waiting the entirety of the time, and when he puts it, I'm like, yes, yes, because you know what it's going to be. And he looks away because it's so horrific. I wanted to see it.
Honestly, I actually thought that was the most effective one in the film.
I know, but I'm the same type of person who wished they would have, shown the mass carnage of the kids in Halloween 3. Like, I was really excited as soon as he opened the box and you saw the titles. I was like,
if it was an exploitation film, that would be one thing, but this is a movie that does mood really, really well. It does. And in that particular, when he watched that one with the lawnmower, I thought it was the most effective one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I didn't like it because of that. That was just the one Gur moment I had in the movie.
I was not Gur about that at all.
It was
the most effective one in the movie.
You're gonna go all
you want that? Watch the guy throw himself under a lawnmower in The Happening.
True. Or Caligula with the spinny thing.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was going to be. I thought they were going to be buried.
But anyway, there are jump scares that are in the movie. Every now and then, really, the movie... there are, but it doesn't go overboard with it. And when there are, it works. One of them really doesn't. I'll get to that later. But anyway, it really is about the atmosphere of the scenes. There's this whole sequence where Ethan Hawke is going through his house at night, and the ghosts of the children are like popping up in the background and kind of jumping in slow motion, and he doesn't see them, but we see them behind him, and they're like running towards him and shit, like when he's got his back turned to them. It's really good. Mm-hmm. It does like really low music well. It doesn't go for like a cheap jump scare in this. It does it so well in terms of just like a sense of dread in the movie. Even like the part where the dog sees the kids standing behind him. It does it like Insidious. I thought did that really well. That was another really good movie. And also Ethan Hawke's performance in this movie really is worth the ticket price alone.
Oh yeah,
he's fucking good. I like Ethan Hawke anyway, but he brings a level of like twitchy, almost like sort of like an understated quirkiness to the character a little bit, not like over the top like you were saying earlier, but it's done well, and you really see the breakdown of this character who he starts drinking more and more. He starts kind of tweaking out and shit like that. And when Ethan Hawke's in any movie, when he just starts like tweaking out and shit like that, it's awesome.
And it's realistic. It's not, over the top. I mean, it's a very believable, real person, and he reacts the way someone who is researching this information, because it's essentially uncovering all of these serial murders that you find out has to do with, a deity.
I thought he was, I liked that he, Bagul, yeah.
Bagul.
I liked that he was kind of a sleazebag. but likable. He wasn't unlikable. He wasn't an unlikable character. I liked that at this point in this guy's career, he's kind of crossed the edge into sort of sleazy. Not that makes him a bad person, but to kind of go that extra step, kind of into sleazy territory in order to kind of get success out of this book.
A little less than sleazy. Like, he's not wormy or anything, but there's a point when he finds out...
He's manipulative.
He is. He's very manipulative, like with the deputy, because the deputy's a fan, and...
the fact he doesn't call the police about
right,
the
I was just going to say that. Well, he dials, and then he, like, hangs up and starts going into it because he's just looking for something... It's selfish. He's a very selfish person.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the scenes with him and his wife in the movie where he really truly is just fucking breaking down, and the part with the cop too, with the deputy when he's sitting there with coffee and is like kind of tweaking out and shit like that. He's like, man, I don't believe in this shit, but I've seen some things.
Can I talk about the deputy now?
Like, it's good. It's really good. Yeah.
I love the deputy. He brings, like I said, a little bit of that comedic to where you're like, ha, but it's not done shticky. He's not
party cop.
No, he's very real. He's a little awkward because he's a fanboy. And I mean, there's just parts where he's talking, when the first kind of supernatural stuff in the attic happens.
Yeah.
He's like, well, maybe you have squirrels, they have feet. And he's like, well, I found a snake up there. He's like, snakes don't have feet. Scorpions have feet too. Yeah, it's just very like that. And then when
Fred Thompson, too, is the sheriff.
Oh, the sheriff, yeah.
Fred Thompson showing up.
A dick, because the sheriff doesn't want him to be there because he has a history of, or not he, but Ethan Hawke's character has a history of writing books and basically uncovering mistakes that cops made, and so they don't want him in the town. But the part that you mentioned with him tweaking out, he's talking to the deputy, he's like, yeah, it's silly to believe in that stuff, you probably don't. He was like, oh, I completely believe in that stuff, you're nuts for living here, I mean, there were murders, and it was just very, it did the good balance of having a light moment without, like Last House on the Left with the sticky.
Yeah.
That's an extreme.
I heard the neighbor fucked a pig. I mean, fuck the both of you.
Obviously, that's an extreme, but a lot of horror movies don't do that well. It seems out of place when they stick in a light moment. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I love The Deputy.
Well, if I could talk about a couple of things that I did, and I definitely recommend the movie. I totally do. It's creepy. It is pretty scary. If I could talk about a couple other things, it is incredibly predictable. The ending, 10 minutes into the movie, I was just like, I know exactly how this movie's gonna end, and it did.
Wish I can't remember if the trailer showed the girl. I could have sworn the trailer showed the daughter watching the movie, because then they segued into, but they cut it from the movie. There's not a point where she...
I don't remember that from the trailer.
Either that, or maybe it was all the kids watching.
No, I'm not saying that part was in the trailer with the kids watching the.
I could have sworn there was one with the daughter. That's one thing that I remember.
I don't remember. I'm not saying it wasn't in there.
I know, and that's what I'm just like at myself, because they make it a point of children who see the images of Bughuul are especially susceptible. But the daughter never sees the images of him, other than she paints it on the wall because she somehow, knows, and she has this connection with the kids in the house. So, I don't know. But I would have liked the ending better if, when they were showing the reel, because you knew what was going on, it was somebody else in Ethan Hawke's situation, like, investigating.
That's kind of what I thought was...
Yeah,
that's kind of... I thought when it started painting with what happens to Ethan Hawke and his family, I knew that was going to... I had totally predicted. Well, yeah. But I mean, that didn't take away anything else from the rest of the movie. It's still a really creepy movie, but I pretty much knew that was how it was gonna end. I was like, okay, families get killed and one of the kids ends up missing. I wonder what's gonna happen here. So, but anyway, so it's predictable in that sense. I also really, really could have done without that stupid jump scare in the last second of the movie.
Yeah, I didn't like that one.
That was so unnecessary. In a movie, one, it wasn't effective at all. It was just stupid. This isn't... Yes, there are jump scares in the movie, but it doesn't overdo it. I wouldn't classify this as a jump scare movie like that Daniel Radcliffe movie was like,
that
like
was
hardcore. That was like jump scares.
It was
every
a good movie.
but I mean, there's jump scares every 20 seconds in that thing.
And the jump scares were loud. Like, I have sensitive ears. Yes.
In Sinister,
I mean, for me anyway, I have sensitive ears, and I don't know, like, they started kind of throbbing and I heard buzzing, and I had to go like this for a while. Because, I mean, not so much even the jump scares, but there'd be moments where there was like a huge bang in the attic and it was so loud. And I know that was the point, but just for me, that made me uncomfortable noise-wise.
I didn't have a problem with that, but no, like it easily could have just ended like, you know, it's zooming away from the box that has all the films in it and stuff like that, and then it ends. You know, that's the kind of movie that it is. It's a very moody film, and instead the Bagul thing just
picks her up and goes into the...
No, not that.
Where it flashes at the very end.
I'm not talking about that. That was fine. When he just grabbed her and walked off, that wasn't a jump scare. He just grabbed her and walked off with her in the film. No, I'm talking about at the end when it pans away from the last shot of the movie. And then, Bagul, like, right in front. What the fuck was that?
I think maybe they were... and it came off poorly, obviously. I think they were trying to symbolize, because it was from the film, that it was like... You're next! Or some shit like that. That's the only...
That's stupid.
I know it's stupid, but that is the only figuring I can do unless they were just someone made a bet on jump scares and they needed to make their quota.
My figure is they wanted a jump scare at the very last shot of the movie.
Yeah, that's the only thing that other than that, obviously, but that's the only
I would
thing
be shocked if
reasoning.
that was supposed to be something symbolic. Like, it was just like they wanted a jump scare in the last second of the movie, and it was so fucking out of place. It wasn't even from the point of view of the fucking 8mm film.
Yeah, it just like kind of popped up. Credits.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that was so fucking pointless and dumb.
It did have some bit of symbolism, and I liked how some of the things I looked at, I was like, okay, yeah, we get it, but they kind of, you know, did it to where if you didn't pick up on this, there's, you know, the tree. In the scans that Vincent D'Onofrio sends Ethan Hawke, they had the snake and the scorpion, which he was finding in his attic that had to do with, you know, this deity. So I like that he didn't sit there and be like, snake, wait, scorpion, because some movies do that. Where it's like, oh, you get it?
Yeah.
So I did like that about it. It doesn't treat its audience like, you're a dumbass, let's spell everything out for you.
Mm-hmm. It didn't do that a lot. It's an adult horror film.
It is, and it's suspenseful.
It is. We don't get a lot of adult horror films nowadays, so I certainly appreciate it for that matter. But it is a legitimately good movie. But anyway, we'll take a break and be back with the trailers. But, yeah, like, you should just ask me. I do have the trailers on my phone, since now that they've... Alright, how many trailers did they have?
A lot.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Plus the Finding Nemo 3D that they incorporate into turn your fucking cell phones off.
Oh, they've been doing that for the past
2 months. Well, I know, but I
months.
don't think we've ever mentioned it, just because it's kind of there.
I can't remember. We got that TV movie with...
fucking Lindsay Lohan as Elizabeth Taylor.
Listen Dick,
yeah, on Lifetime.
It's gonna be the best movie since Gable and Lombard.
Well, and that's the thing too, because she shouldn't be old enough to play Elizabeth Taylor, but she's so haggard from all the drugs and shit she did. She looks the age that Elizabeth Taylor was.
You missed the first half of that trailer when it starts playing like sound clips of news clips of like Lindsay Lohan getting busted. She's like, it's her comeback, a TV movie on Lifetime that she's second billing for.
I thought it was her life story. No, she's first billing. Liz and Dick. It's not Dick and Liz.
Not the characters, the actors.
Oh, I thought you meant the person. You know what? I wasn't there for it.
No, you were there at that part. That was at the end. It had the guy who played Richard Burton's
I thought you meant second billing, as in. But anyway.
No, her name was after the dude who plays Richard Burton.
Yeah,
fuck that. I'm just gonna watch Exorcist 2 if I want some Richard Burton.
Yeah, that was the first one that popped up that I saw.
Not gonna be watching that.
Come on!
We got The Collection, which we got that trailer when we got the trailer before, and we were talking about that. I didn't realize it was a sequel. It's a sequel to The Collector.
Yeah, people said that on the comments.
I never saw The Collector. I didn't know The Collector was popular enough to get a sequel. I didn't see it. I actually didn't hear that bad of things about The Collector. I don't know why I didn't see it. I just never did, but I guess I should now. They're doing a fucking sequel to it.
Well, it might also be one of those things, like the Saw movies are over, and they're like, okay, well, what can we take? And maybe someone, they were a fan of The Collector.
I think they're also counting on the fact, too, that people are going to go into this not knowing it's a sequel. Because I sure as fuck
Well,
did.
with all of the remakes today, you would think that would be something that they'd be like, all right, let's just start it over. Not that I approve of
What's
it,
the movie,
mind
2
you.
years old?
I don't fucking know. I haven't seen it.
The Collector?
Oh, they make remakes of shit that's not that old anyways.
The most recent I could think is, like, I certainly like reboots, reboots like Spider-Man and stuff like that.
But did you pick up more? Because I know last time you were like, I don't know what the fuck was going on in that trailer.
Now that I haven't seen The Collector, but I know the plot. I know the plot of it, and I remember the trailers for it. Probably.
I don't know.
But
my guess.
It's called The Collector. This one's called The Collection. He's probably a collector.
It's comics. I know it's comics.
So, it's about Dave.
Yeah.
No,
Alex.
so, but yeah, knowing it's a sequel and looking at the trailer now, it's like, oh, okay, I kind of pick it up a little bit now. What's going on here?
Did you
I'll
get the
see
Cube
it.
vibe that I was talking about? The Cube vibe that I was talking about last time that you didn't pick up on?
No, that sweet scene from The Cube when a lawnmower comes in and kills a rave party.
No, I was talking about every room being booby-trapped and people getting killed off one by one.
That just reminded me more of Saw than it did Cube.
But see, in Saw it was more situational traps. This is booby traps.
Oh, they did that in Saw.
I know, but it reminded me more because they're trying to get through to the room.
If anything like that, it reminds me of Saw 2, because that was in the house that was all booby-trapped and shit.
I guess. It's also like The Cube.
Not
the plot, but the situation.
The characters are certainly similar to The Cube. But no, I'll see it. I'll end up seeing it for the site. We got that Mama trailer again.
Yeah. Enough said.
Mama, I've talked about stuff, beautiful creatures, because they got to do.
I don't even know what the fuck that is. It's like trying to be dark with magic stuff, and she's got a time limit, and be like, no, you think she's nice now, but
it's Twilight for the Southern.
It doesn't even look like Twilight. It looks more like the genre. It looks more like the genre of like Jennifer's Body.
It looks so. They are so trying to capitalize on Twilight with this.
I don't know. It's off of a novel.
I could tell that before they even wrote that. I was like, this has got to be based on some like popular novel that's out now, and sure enough it is. But oh my god, they are so trying to get the Twilight crowd with that. Like, the music's exactly the same. They're portraying the love story in this exactly the same as in Twilight. That's exactly what they're trying to do with this movie.
I guess I just look at it as like Twilight is not remotely dark, so to speak, and this is talking about like a cult and things. So it reminds me more of
the tone
those
is
tweens.
just as... I'm not saying that the book is the same. I don't know. I don't know much about it. I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to say that the plots are the same. I'm saying the tone that they're going for in this trailer, the music that they're doing, the actors they've chosen, the way they're acting is that's exactly the crowd they're going for with this movie. And it looks like ass. The Arnold movie, Last Stand, Arnold... I get that trailer all fucking time.
I wanted him to say asshole afterwards.
I'm the sheriff.
Asshole.
No,
he does
it's
say
Arnold.
that.
Yeah, I know he does. It's Arnold, man. It's fucking Arnold back. Of course I'm gonna go see this fucking movie.
Even if it's bad, it'll still be good. Because it's Arnold.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's like with Stallone. I mean, like, bad comedies aside, even like the shittiest Arnold action movie I can still watch. The shittiest Stallone action movie. I didn't say it was bad.
I thought you were saying all the comedies were bad.
No, I'm saying bad comedies aside.
Oh, okay. I was like, you got twins.
Like Junior
Fuck
aside.
Junior. I refuse to acknowledge that movie.
Rhinestone aside, in terms of the Stallone movies, Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. At least Arnold's done a couple of good comedies. There
But
was
not Jingle All the
that Broken City with Wahlberg and
and Russell Crowe. Floating round the world.
Russell Crowe as Robert De Niro. He's doing a De Niro voice in this. And did you notice he's got hair like the Gerber baby in this trailer?
Yes! And he's got, like, spray tan or New Jersey tan. He looks very orange.
Yeah, he's like the mayor in New York or something in it. He's having an affair.
And he's corrupt, of course. No, he's not having an affair. His
wife's
having an affair.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
And it's gonna be a big shocker because they didn't show exactly probably, but they don't show who the person in the photographs is that's boinking her.
He's doing like you cannot tell me that they didn't write this part with De Niro in mind to play the Russell. There's a part in the trailer where he's going you're good, you like that, like fucking. You're kidding me with this, right?
I do love Russell Crowe.
I do too. I like Russell Crowe too, but he's playing Robert De Niro in this movie.
To be fair, if you're directed that way, you're gonna fucking do it. I highly doubt that he just came up with that, on his own.
You don't know that. You don't
I'm just saying
know that.
I doubt. I'm not saying I know it. However, if they wrote something with someone in mind, chances are that's the way they wanted him to go with it.
That's not always true. The person, like, people get passed up on roles all the time. That doesn't mean the person who replaced him is doing an impression of that actor.
But I'm just saying, before we go Crow bashing.
I like Russell Crowe, but he's obviously playing Robert De Niro in this movie.
I'm just saying he may have been ordered to.
I order you to be Robert De Niro. Russell Crowe would have broken their nose.
Okay, no. Caddyshack 2, they ordered them to try and do impressions of the cast that they could not get. So it is
because
not
Caddyshack 2 is the beacon of freaking great fucking filmmaking.
I'm just saying it's not unprecedented.
No, I'm not. But I'm not saying that all. But I'm trying to say that
you are arguing this way too wholeheartedly.
Because I'm fucking right. That's not something that's something that's fucking.
I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Common.
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility. It's actually Robert De Niro under Russell Crowe clothing.
That could be the big twist. Mm-hmm. You don't know. He might be like all Mission Impossible-y and be like, oh, it's De Niro all the time.
Possible. It's possible. I'm just saying.
I can't tell if you're actually annoyed or not.
No, I'm not annoyed.
Am I gonna get like?
I'm not fucking annoyed.
Cut. Be like, I fell into a door. I deserved it for leaving the mop out.
I'm not saying that never happens. I'm saying that doesn't always happen. Caddyshack 2.
Next trailer. Fucking Silent Hill 2.
Caddyshack fucking
Which
2.
Some of the effects look like worse than an Asylum movie, and I'm not sure, but it looks like they're taking elements of Silent Hill 4 with the whole carousel and apartment thing turning into Silent Hill-y.
Now, you don't know that. They could have never played those games before. I'm just saying, you don't know.
No, I do know, because that's what they did with the fucking first movies. They incorporated elements that didn't belong there, which whatever, and then they already spoiled the point that the blonde girl is Alyssa
Maybe they
reborn.
wanted to do the sequel to it, but then they didn't, and they decided to put it in the first one.
If I get to go see this, because I don't know if you're going to do this when I'm out of town for Halloween
whatever Friday it comes out.
I'm probably going to be in Chicago, but oh god, Brian is a huge Silent Hill fan as well, so I will be channeling my rage through him to add to his, but no, I pretty much guarantee they're probably not even going to address the whole what the fuck happened to Rose thing, because that ending was weird, but yeah, so we'll just wait till the movie comes out.
I'm leery of any sequel that has the subtitle of Revelation or Resurrection. Or any of stuff like that.
I believe one of the titles was Silent Hill Revelations, though.
I know, but that's plural. This one's singular.
Or Revelation, I don't know. I stopped playing the Silent Hill games, movies. I stopped playing the games after 4, I think.
How about that? There was another one too. There was fuck was it? Was that 7? Was that really 7? Oh, Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Oh yeah. Okay, now you said they were remaking it.
It fits along with. It's supposed to fit along with the continuity of the first one.
Okay.
I think that's what I heard.
I don't know. You told me first you were like, oh, they're remaking it, and then.
But I mean, like, it's not. I mean, it's like a reboot, like sort of thing.
I think it's like a revival more so than a reboot because they talk about what happened in the 70s and they're like, it's happening again.
Yeah, it says 1974 on it.
It needs Matthew McConaughey.
And
a mechanical leg.
Shit, yeah, it does, man. So like, yeah, but it's supposed to fit along with the continuity of the original, but it looks like one of the remakes.
Well, because I know you leaned over me, you were like, 70s my ass, and I was like, no.
But that's another thing I heard too, is that it's supposed to be between the first one and the second one.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, especially the decor in the house, unless they just bypassed with,
Yeah, it would have looked like
aging.
it would have looked like one of the fucking remakes.
Well,
those so didn't look like they were the.
I
fucking
haven't
70s.
seen it in forever and a half. Was there some big thing about a grandmother's house because they kind of focused on that for
in the original Chainsaw Massacre? They're going to one of their relatives' house, and Leatherface in that family's house is like off on down the road.
Because I didn't pick up on that, and they're like, oh, this is my grandma's house. What did she do? I don't know. And then flashed to like another thing, and I was like, all right, that was random.
Yeah, the 3D might be good.
I hope so. It'd be fun just for the 3D.
It's stupid. They took Massacre out of the title.
Oh, that's right, Texas Chainsaw.
Whoa, we wouldn't want people to think this is like.
It'd be really... TCM 3D.
You know that our movie shares the same initials as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The Cinema Snob movie, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Cinema Snob movie. Someone pointed that out to me on the comments. It's like, oh yeah, all right, on. That's pretty cool.
If you do Cinema Snob as one word.
Cinema Snob 3. No, it's 2 words.
But then Texas Chainsaw is 1 word.
Yeah, not originally. It was 2.
Oh, okay.
It was 2 originally.
I meant in the how they had it.
But anyway, I mean, yeah, I'll end up seeing it. It looked kind of like ass, but it looks like one of the fucking remakes, the Michael Bay ones, and those.
It doesn't even look that good.
No, it doesn't look good. It looks terrible.
So, if the 3D is not good, but I don't even know if I'll end up seeing it, but I do want to...
That would be something Brian and I go to.
As mad as I am, going back just a wee bit, about how Silent Hill 2 looks, I kind of want to see it out of curiosity, just to see how badly they fuck it up, but I'm pretty sure I'm in Chicago that weekend.
Oh, man, you gotta do Silent Hill.
I know. Unless it has a midnight, then I can go. But it probably won't. I don't know. They might do midnights for the 3Ds.
I don't know.
Or 3Ds.
Who knows?
They
I
might
always
do midnight
check.
for Halloween, I mean.
I always check. Paranormal Activity is getting, not at midnight, it's getting like at 9 p.m.
I could watch it up in Chicago and go all Skype and then just have me on the laptop.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
We'll convert it to VHS, just like in the movie VHS. Alright, what's your final thought on Sinister?
It was great. Definitely worth seeing it in the theater, and probably more effective with tone. And setting the suspense.
Support R-rated horror. Good R-rated horror. This is really good.
It is.
And support that and go see it. It's a very, very, very effective, creepy little movie, and Ethan Hawke is awesome.
Yeah.
That's all I got about it.
Oh, and the little boy, their son, looked like Atreyu with longer hair. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, he did a little bit.
I wonder if he is related to Noah Hathaway. He could be.
I don't know. You interviewed him. Did he mention?
No, I don't think he has kids. But he could have. It could be like a nephew or whatever. I don't know. I didn't be like, tell me about your family tree.
It's a mystery. See ya.